Hi everyone, my name is Kedarnath Malapati. I am an undergraduate researcher at the University of Georgia, and I am working in Dr. Mohan Kumar's lab. Today we'll be going over how to use the Adiposoft plugin in the Fiji software. We'll be going over how to download the Fiji software and how to install the Adiposoft plugin as well. So this is a raw image from a whole slide that we captured, and this is the analyzed version. So the software, the Adiposoft plugin, counts all of the cells in that image, and it also calculates their area as well. And it puts all of that data into this Excel spreadsheet so you can further analyze it. So to download the software, we can download it for whichever OS we have. I already have it downloaded, so I'll go ahead and cancel that. But once it's in your downloads folder, go ahead and drag and drop that into your applications folder. So drag and drop the Fiji software from your downloads into your applications folder. So it is in here. We will then download that Adiposoft plugin. So we'll go to this website right here. The current maintainer is Dr. Rees. If you have any questions about the software, you can contact him over the ImageJ forums, and he's very friendly and quick to respond. So we can download their plugin right here, and it takes you to this Google Drive folder that you'll be prompted to download. So download that, extract it. Actually, I'll go ahead and do that. So download it. For us, it's already extracted. You might have to extract the zip folder. But once you get that jar file, we can go to our applications folder, locate the Fiji application, and then right-click on it and click Show Package Contents. Once we do that, we can drag and drop this jar file into this plugins folder. I already have it, so I'm going to stop it. So once the jar file is in there, we can restart the Fiji software. So close out of it and then restart it. And we should see the plugins, or we should see the Adiposoft plugin inside the plugins menu, like this. So quick side note, if your Fiji software isn't opening, like if you can't see it here, or if you don't get this window right here, if it's not opening, then go ahead and download the latest version of Java off their website. Once you download and install it, then Fiji should open without any problems. Now that we have the plugin downloaded, let's go ahead and analyze the sample image. Drag and drop that into the Fiji software, and then go to Plugins, Adiposoft, and then it gives you some parameters that you can choose from. Since this is a single image, we can turn this off, and it gives us the option to manually edit the analysis after the software does it for us. So once the Adiposoft plugin analyzes this image, it gives us an option to add or delete cells or merge cells. So we'll check this off. And then we'll also check exclude edges on. This way the software isn't analyzing cells on the edges. We don't want to analyze these cells because we're not entirely sure what the area is, since we can't see the entire thing. So it's best if we check this to be on. And then output for us, it's going to be microns. And then we're going to be analyzing this one image. So we'll just do image for now. And then the next example is going to be a list of nested directories. So we can automatically analyze many images at once. So microns per pixel, this image has a 1-to-1 ratio, so 1 micron is 1 pixel big. So we're going to do 1 right here. And then for minimum diameter, this one is going to be, you have to play around with this number, but once I played around with it, I found 15 and 300 to be good values. So the way you figure that out is you just run this calibration a couple of times and see if the Adiposoft software is picking up all the cells. So if it's highlighting the cells, that means these are good numbers. If it's highlighting parts you don't want highlighted, like if it's too small, like these cracks right here, if it's highlighting these as cells as well, you might want to bump this number up a bit. And if it's the maximum diameter, if it's highlighting too many cells, like if it's counting these as like one big cell, you might want to tone this down a bit. But usually you can keep this number pretty high. It doesn't, it should recognize this as two different cells. But sometimes when the lines aren't as clear, it might mistake this for one big cell or something, and then you might want to tone this down. But I found these values to be good, so you could probably try this out and then put your own values in there. So we'll go ahead and click OK, and then it's going to ask us where we want to save the results to. So I'm just going to save it to the desktop right now so you can see them. So save it to there. If you want to be more organized, you can save the results to a folder that you've already labeled. And since we have manual addition on, we can add or delete cells. So in this case, we can add cells like this. So click add and then OK. And there's a shortcut. You don't actually have to add a cell and then click OK, and then delete a cell and then click OK. You can just add cells as you go, and it keeps doing it. So here's an example. We'll select this right here. And if you press T, it's going to mark it as a new cell. Let's say we don't want this right here. So we can click on this cell and then click delete, and it's going to delete that cell. So again, the keyboard shortcut is T to add a cell. So once you select this, you can hit T and it's going to add the cell. My computer is really slow, so it's not showing the line as it's being drawn. Since I'm recording, it's kind of low on resources. But as you draw the line using this free selection or free hand tool, you'll be able to see a yellow line that outlines your edges. So you can see this yellow line. So highlight that cell and click T to create a new cell. And then let's say we don't want this cell. Hit delete and you're going to get rid of it. And then you can draw a new cell in its place like this. T. Once you're happy with all the cells, you can click OK. And then you can click end. And then it successfully stores it in your desktop like this. So we have an Excel file with all of the data in there, so we'll take a look at that right now. Ignore this error. I don't know why it pops up. It does sometimes. And then click yes. And here's your data. So we have this image. We have 189 cells that it counted. And this is the area for each cell. And then you can run some formulas on this, so you can be like average of all of these. And it should give it to you. Let's see. There we go. So it gives you the average of all the cells. I'm not entirely sure what DEQ is, but if anyone knows, put in the comments, I guess. And then this is cell number, so number of cells. And let's do the batch analysis now. To do a batch analysis of these adipose tissue slides as well. So let's pull up Fiji again. So we can go to Analyze, Plugins, and then Adiposoft. We're going to select a list of nested directories, so that means folders are going to be inside of folders. So like this, we have folders inside of this big folder with all the slides in it. So that's how that's going to be organized. Or you could do a directory, which would just be one folder. Like this would be one folder with files inside of it. For this one, we're going to select a list of nested directories, since it's going to be these, exclude on edges, and we're going to have to keep it on auto mode since this is going to be doing a batch analysis all at once, so manual is not possible for this. We're going to click OK. Microns per pixel, for our image it's a 1:1 ratio, so we'll do that. 15:300. You can change these values to fit your image. So we'll click OK, and then it's going to ask you to reference your file. So we'll go to desktop, so we're going to do the all slides copy. Let's see. Actually, I'll do a sample so we're not analyzing all of them. That would take a long time. So let's do sample. Take 2 of these. Alright, that should be good. So we'll do example, open, and now it's going to ask you where you want to save all that data. So we can just go ahead and save it within the folder itself. So select that folder, click open. Now it's going to analyze all of our images, and you can see it labeling the different cells and listing it into the ROI. So that's the first slide, and this is going to be the second one. Alright, so all of the results are successfully stored, so we can go ahead and cancel that. So if we go back to the example, you'll see it gives you an Excel spreadsheet of all the data for both slide 1 and slide 2. Within that slide, here's our snapshots, so these are our analyzed images. And then we have the original images as well. And it also gives us the individual sample image data as well. So slide 1, rat 1, slide 1, rat 2, slide 1, rat 3. Gives us all the data separately as well. I like to use the combined data because then you can use a pivot table to organize the data. So I'll show you how to do that really quickly. So we'll do, yes, click open it anyway. So the way we do the pivot table is click right here, A1, and then we can do insert pivot table, just go ahead and select the default stuff. We're gonna do it by row, right? Yes. Yeah, so you can see it does it by each rat. So rat 1, rat 2, rat 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then we're going to want the average area. So not the sum. We're going to click this I button. We're going to change it to the average right there. We can also do the count as well. So we can do that based on the label. So it counts how many cells there are based on this label. So as you can see right here, this label, this is all from the same image. All of these, yeah, so all these rat 2s up until here, that's all from one image. These are all the cells from that one image. And so that's what's being counted here. So in this first sample image, we have 316 cells that were counted, and the average area for those cells is 2002 microns squared. So that's a quick analysis of the raw data. And then you can take this and plug it into Qpath for more rigorous statistical analysis. Alright, so be sure to submit or save this as an Excel file so we don't lose your data. Right now it's a text file, and so that means we're not going to keep, it doesn't keep all of the tabs, so one of these tabs is going to get deleted. So to prevent all that data loss, we're going to convert it to an XLSX file like that, and then we can just save it to the same folder. So save, and now our data is saved. So now that we have this data, here's what Qpath looks like. So as an example, let's say slide 1, rat 1 was the non-stressed child group. You can take this data, the average area of the cells, and put it into your Qpath table and then analyze it from there. So that's a quick example on how to do it. Alright, this is a bit out of order, but this is what the whole slide images look like. So when you're in your eSlides manager, you can do select all, images, and this is what the entire slide looks like. So this is the chronic high fat group. So this is a slide with seven other rats on it. So 7 rats are on here, and we annotated the slide to identify each rat. So this is rat 1, this is rat 2, rat 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. And the way we took snapshots was you can zoom in to a specific point. So this is rat 1, as the annotation says. So we want to find a clean image that we can analyze. And the standard that we use is 10x zoom. So this is a 10x zoom, and we're just going to try to find a clean image to take a snapshot of. So this looks pretty good right here. So to capture an image, first we have to change the settings. So we want a fixed size for our image, so it's not changing and the image is the same shape, same resolution. so our data can be consistent throughout each analysis. So we'll do a fixed size for ours. I'm doing 1280 pixels by 800 pixels, so this works pretty well. And once I'm ready to take my snapshot, I can click that camera and snap an image, and it saves it to my downloads folder like that. So those should be all the tips you should need to start using Adiposoft. One last thing I wanted to mention was for the minimum and maximum diameters, you really do have to just play around with these numbers. When I first tried out the numbers, about 80% of the cells weren't analyzed because this number was too low. So play around with it. Maybe for your organism, it might be 1,000, it might be 500. You just have to play around with that number. But if you do have any other questions, you can go to the documentation for MHJ. Their website has a lot of resources. The Adiposoft plugin also has its own documentations which you can consult. But that should be it. Have a great day, guys. I'll see you later.